Hi, I'm here with Wade Burgess, the EVP of Sales for Automation Anywhere. Wade, thank you so much for joining us. You are a recent acquisition by Automation Anywhere, if I understand. Tell me a little bit about what made you decide to join them.
So I spent most of my career, at least the last decade, in really connecting talent with opportunity. In human capital, so I spent a bunch of time at LinkedIn and really identifying the kind of workers to do work, and increasingly what I noticed was that the digital workforce is becoming a bigger and bigger factor. So as I looked at automation, looked at digital workers, it's kind of an irrefutable trend that this area is growing. And what I saw was an opportunity to be involved in the next phase of the way in which work is done. And working alongside of the human workers, the digital workforce is going to be deployed, and all the decisions that need to be made along the way. It just seemed like an exciting space for driving productivity, but also for getting more work done.
You've told me moments ago that Automation Anywhere is the most widely deployed robotic workforce on the planet. And so you guys have a lot of clients, a lot of installations out there. Can you tell me what differentiates clients that are successful from ones who are less successful?
You know, the analogy that I use is a medical analogy. You don't go into a doctor's office and they say, hey, let me show you what we can do around here. And they don't say, hey, we have scalpels and we have all these tools, let me see what I can do for you. What they really do is they ask you what hurts or what you're trying to solve for. And I think our customers that are most successful are looking to solve a business problem. They're looking to drive productivity or reduce costs, or there's some business problem. And then they assess, what are the resources we have to solve for this? One way to solve certain business problems is through automation. And they fit it into the context of the larger business problem they're trying to solve. There are some things they need to do that are just process improvement. There are other things they need to hire the right people to do the right work. There are other things that computers are better at doing than people can do. Yeah. And in that context, that's where they're most successful. Yeah. To give you an example, in most companies, I mentioned I've spent a decade in human capital, and usually candidate journeys, when you're recruiting the candidate journey, for most companies, the NPS score on the candidate journey is negative. Right. It's a poor experience. Yeah. And onboarding. Sure. And offboarding and all of that. And it's not because they don't have good systems, it's not because they don't have good intention. The ball gets dropped somewhere. Yeah. And there are, when you come on board to a company, there's a bunch of systems you have to be put into, right? And usually something goes wrong somewhere in that process. Right. And often it goes wrong because someone drops the ball somewhere and not intentionally. That's a perfect example of a use case when you think of digital workers being able to create an onboarding experience in an automated way. In less than an hour you can be in every system you need to be put into and you can be onboarded properly. It improves the experience of the employee coming in. It improves the cost of doing so, and your error rate goes down dramatically. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming by. I wish you the most successful show you can possibly have, and it's been a pleasure talking to you.